All right, so we're heading on down into our feature match area for round 2 here of our standard Hoaglandia Open Your Day. We've got Big Country versus Rest in Peace.
Nice.
Looks like Rest in Peace is going to be on the play here for us. Yeah, players grabbing up their starting hands here. Their deck list should be available momentarily here. Looks like we've got Yorian on the bottom.
Everybody's simulating the full tournament experience with wanting their playmats. Oh, mercy.
Looks like we have Blue-White Control versus Temur Reclamation featuring some Godzilla Doom Inevitables.
Okay. Yeah, this should be, this is a nice one here. Yorian. Big fan. Okay. Let's see. So yeah, we've got some Godzillas. That's good stuff. Wilderness Reclamation again.
Looks like pretty easy keep here on the bottom. Probably see a quick mulligan up top here for Big Country. No second land.
Yeah. Yep.
This is probably a hand sucks keep on 6. You're actually probably pretty happy with this hand against Blue-White Control, right?
Yeah, it's not bad. Brazen Bar is probably one of the better cards you can have. So. All right, here we go. Yeah, pretty good start for each player here, able to kind of like set up their incoming draws. Birth of Meletus is one of the big upgrades from the Theros Beyond Death that really made this blue-white deck kind of tick. I'm a big fan of being able to grab a third land on turn 2 when you could be short is a big deal.
Yeah, and Birth is a great example of a card that like is very good in the aggressive matchups, right? But in the control matchups, it also, or matches like this against a Reclamation deck, it still sees play it still plays through because it just hits your land drop still.
Yeah, it's totally fine, and like in this spot, like Rip and Peace could miss the 4th land drop, but they have Teferi to try and help find the 4th land as well.
We see Big Country here identifying, they know they're playing against a control deck from open deck list, so they know they don't really probably need to bounce anything with Brazen Bar this turn.
This is pretty good. So here comes good old Teferi.
You see Teferi Fun Raveler on the other side of the board here.
Yeah, man, what a beating.
I like both the plays here. I like both Rip in Peace trying to plus the Teferi to start, and I also like Big Country deciding to bounce it rather than play the bar or into it.
Yeah, I'm pretty into it. Like, I think you're gonna do the same song and dance here again. And lucky for Rip in Peace, finds 4th land. Just continuing to make land drops. Gonna be able to get to this Dream Trawler eventually.
So, Rip in Peace, we see Yorian the Sky Nomad.
Yeah.
As the companion here. So while this is Blue-White Control, this is an 80-card Blue-White Control main deck.
Yeah. This card's really powerful. I'm still a little bit hesitant to get to an 80-card deck. I mean, you know me, I'm like playing like Mutagen or Gitaxian Probes and Mishra's Baubles. Like I want to play like the smallest deck possible. So
yep.
It's hard for me.
One of the interesting things about a card like Yorian 2 is, remember, while we are in 7 set standard, this is a card that when we get up to a slightly bigger 8 set standard will get better, right? Because 80 cards is less of a detriment when you have a deeper card pool. It's also a card that when we see rotation happen in the fall, it's likely to get a lot worse when we go back to 5 set standard.
Yeah, just not enough cards. The payoff's not good enough for something like that.
So we might actually see Big Country deploy 2 threats here. We see that, which is certainly going to be a standard staple in Shark Typhoon here on Big Country side of the board, which notably is not impacted by Teferi Time Raveler.
This is a nice one here. Able to get absorbed, but also able to neutralize it. Oh, not going to neutralize it. Okay.
Well, you can't neutralize, right? You're playing Hearthstone.
Oh, right. There's a stupid
Yep.
Stupid Teferi.
Raveler of Fun is in play. And we see here, I really like Big Country sequencing here. They get a counter spell on their bounce, they deploy their Borrower, and then they're going to get to cycle the Shark Typhoon and have 2 threats in play.
Yeah, this is pretty nice.
Dream Trawler going to perhaps put, you see again, looking at that neutralize, like, wish I could play Magic, but here we are.
Gosh. Yeah. Teferi, loads of fun.
For folks in chat that are having some issues with Melee loading, I wonder if there was some kind of like global internet outage or like a main system was out because Discord's having some issues too. Don't worry, you're going to have plenty of time to play around.
Yep. Shark Typhoon again, flexing its muscle.
Shark Typhoon really just needs to... Okay, there's a Doom Inevitable. Is that... Okay, we're 1 land short on that.
Oh,
so
man.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see... the Doom Inevitable not get cycled here and just get cast for 7 next turn.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
Do you give up one of your creatures to kill their Teferi?
No way.
I mean, it unlocks your neutralize.
That's totally valid. Man, that's
it's tough. It's not easy, right? Because like you're throwing away your creature and like you're giving them 3 life, but like the Teferi's gonna draw a card and kill your shark anyway, so this is probably worthwhile, right?
Yeah, that's totally valid. It's like the easy block is on the Brazen Borrower here, right? Because you have Teferi if you want to bounce the shark later.
That's fair. It's also not fair to assume that your card's gonna resolve either, though.
Yeah, totally valid too.
So I assume we'll see a Scry 2 here. Oh, we are gonna cycle Ghidorah. Okay.
Okay.
He is inevitable. He will show up eventually.
That is true.
Another shark's pretty good.
Okay. All right, I'm into it.
Now, one of the things to note here, they could... I like not castling here on Big Country's part because this allows them to neutralize and also pay for Mystic Dispute.
Yep.
Love the oops there. Like, oops,
Oh, yeah.
forgot to float, but really we get to neutralize with the dispute.
Biggest fan of that. That's one of the ways people are always like, we never get like the, we don't get like the poker things where we can bluff. Okay, yes you can. They just did. They just bluffed digitally. Wow, no Mystic Dispute. Yeah, so they're gonna fire off Narset. So they have 2 threats, which is good. Double Planeswalker. Pretty nice turn. In comes Dream Trawler. Gosh, this card's such a beating.
Storms. Okay, so something really interesting about Storm's Wrath here is this card does notably hit Planeswalkers too.
Yeah. So this could take down... This will take down everything. It'll take down Big Country's Brazen Borrower, which is something, but I don't know, man. I think you gotta go for it.
So we could just see a massive shark here, right?
Yeah, Massive Shark's not bad.
If they make the Massive Shark, they notably don't get to draw the card, though, because there's Narset on the board.
Yeah, and you're
So
like scared it's a fairy.
We might just see them scry and then shark on Rip's turn, because notably they have 7 mana now, right? So if they wait to shark, they could shark inside of combat and trade it with the Dream Trawler.
Yeah, I think that's probably your best line at this point.
Yeah, I like this. In. Now, something to note about the Doom Inevitable, if you're able to cycle into these things enough times, it's actually just uncounterable. You can't neutralize, you can't Mystic Dispute this thing coming into play once you've cycled it 4 times.
Yep. All right.
Really? Are we making a shark at the end of turn here?
Looks that way.
This seems incredibly right. Did we forget about the Narset? We had to have forgotten about the Narset, right?
Could be.
I guess the upside is it's a 6/6, so it just eats the Trawler, but then the Trawler just doesn't attack.
Yeah, it eats the Trawler. The only thing I'm really terrified of here is like Teferi bounce.
Correct.
Also.
Yeah, and like outside of combat here now, like the Teferi could just bounce us, and we could see this Narset impulse for a Teferi. Oh, it just comes off the top. Yep. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this line from Big Country. I feel like they really set themselves up to be blown out here.
Yeah, it was a high risk play for sure.
The fact that they didn't get the card draw, like in
Yeah.
addition to exposing themselves to Teferi, they also put themselves down a card because of the Narset.
Yeah, you at least get a card if Teferi comes rolling off the top, and at this point, you just got absolutely nothing for that.
Yep.
Boy.
So someone in chat pointing out 80 card decks will always have Teferi, no big deal.
You know, I'm not a shuffler truther or anything like that, but like, I wonder how good these Yorion decks are in paper. I'm not saying anything, but I'm saying something. Like,
all right, players go into sideboarding here. We see our Temur Rec player reaching for some counter spells here. I'm interested to see what they do with these Storm's Wraths, because Storm's Wrath does kill Teferi and Narset, so it's kind of a tough one. I don't think it's as easy as a cut as it looks on the surface.
yeah, that's pretty valid. Man. We mentioned Temur Rec going comically over the top of most decks, but this, like, Dovin's Veto and Mystical Dispute are kind of pains for the and obviously Teferi for these
something note on the Temur Rec side. Unlike Nelson's list and the other one that we saw earlier today, there are no Nightpack Ambushers present in this variation of Temur Reclamation.
Yeah, they're more like they're like the kill everything version instead of like the Nightpack Ambusher is very good against the control decks. Yep. So they've customized their deck in a certain way. I mentioned like Scorching Dragonfire and Flame Sweep. Yep. You can play
Yudaro's a very interesting one. That's one that I haven't seen a lot of. The Doom Inevitable.
Yeah, I also have not really seen that version. This is it's cool though. It's another way to win the game and get through your deck a little bit quicker.
You see our control player in the tank a little bit about exactly what they want to do. Their sweepers are pretty easy cuts here. Looks like they have to figure out 2 other cards to leave in here. They're not quite sure. You know, when you have this 80 card deck, it's also harder to sideboard out all your bad cards in matchups like this, right?
Yeah, it's like, all right, well, I'm gonna draw this clunker, and like, what do you do?
Yep.
It's tough. All right, cool.
So we'll have Big Country on the play here. Probably a reasonable keep. Not super exciting, but, you know, disputes as a Shark Typhoon to cantrip.
Yeah, not my favorite hand, but it's reasonable.
Rip in Peace. Pretty conservative mulligan there with no third land kind of into it. Rewarded with a very reasonable 6.
Yep. Definitely a good one to start here. Man, I'm going to stop talking about the Orion decks because I'm going to get myself in hot water. I'm shocked though that they always seem to have like what they need. Like their hands, the distribution of their hands is like so good all the time.
Well, and one of the other things I think about too is like you think about these control decks and even think about 60 card control decks, right? The 60, wow. I cannot believe that Rip mulligan that 6. I thought that 6 was very reasonable.
So I thought the 6 minus the planes was good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, and then, I mean, their 4-card hand is good. They get to keep Counterspell, Land, Planeswalker. I think it's worse than the 6, but you're definitely keeping this.
Yep. You were saying something about the 60-card control decks?
Sorry, so with 60-card control decks, you know, you think about how we've built them, historically speaking, and a lot of times 60-card control decks have a lot of 2 and 3 ofs, right? So the jump with these Orion decks is that instead of playing 2 and 3 ofs, you're just playing 4 ofs, and the best way to think about Orion's drawback is it's basically like all your 4 ofs are 3 ofs now. Like your deck's 20% bigger, so like your maximum number of cards proportionally is like that much less.
Yeah, I mentioned Bertha Miletus in Game 1, how it was like very helpful, and obviously here, it just drew you a card, like on a 5-card hand, 4-card hand. So,
see, Teferi, so this is going to eat the quickest dispute in the world.
Yeah, Mystical Dispute, doing its thing. Yes, this is pretty good for Big Country here.
Easy bottom on another land here. If you're on Big Country side of the table, you're probably looking for what? There's like a Wilderness Reclamation at this point. You've got 2 extra cards in your hand.
Yeah, just Reclamation at this point.
And one of the things to think about too here, we talked about the Yori and Rip and Peace side mulliganing to 4. In reality, they kind of mulliganed to 5 though, right? Because they have their companion still.
Yeah, that's fair.
We note I like Rip taking it slow here. We note that they could have jammed another Teferi, but they're electing to wait till they can play it alongside the Stovin's Veto.
Yeah. All right, so here's good old Tef.
And then we'll see Dispute, and then I would bet we see Expansion copy the Veto here and Veto the Teferi.
You think it's better than that? Yeah, that's probably fair.
I think with the Shark Typhoon, you're just like happy to like guaranteed get your value here.
Yeah, I like Spiraling to look.
Okay, really? Okay, so we're not prioritizing that. Fair.
All right.
We're letting the Teferi happen.
A lot of lands. That's pretty good. That Uro's pretty solid here.
Number of cards in Big Country's graveyard here.
Yeah, I think there's up to 4 now. Actually, could be.
And there's that Glass Casket. We saw Rip struggling on what their last sideboard card should be to bring in, and they settled on Glass Casket. It looks like they're going to get paid off for it here in the long term.
Yep, able to help against Uro, which is nice. Also takes like Shark Typhoons off the table, or Sharks.
Yeah, the Shark tokens. Yeah. Glass Casket seems like a very reasonable card post board as the last one to put in.
The problem is just like they only have these 2. I mean, they have Urian, I suppose, but they have like these 2 cards, and Big Country has just so much mana right now. A couple Uros looming,
and we get to see just I like just jamming the thread here. Honestly, I don't think I hold up the veto. I think I just need to close the game out.
Yeah, totally agree. You're short on cards. Like Urian's going to do some work. Oh,
okay. I guess they just need 1 more land to Urian plus draw, plus have the counterspell up still. We see big country debating on escaping this Uro. There's 6 cards in their graveyard.
Yeah, Uro for the Uro.
Not quite sure what they want to be doing. We might just see a pass here with the Shark Typhoon cycle.
How do you feel about like a small Shark Typhoon to put it in the bin to then Uro as well?
Nah, I think I'd rather get my giant shark.
Okay.
Like, I think I want this shark to be able to attack past the Sky Nomad.
That's totally valid. All right. Council Ardenvale coming in. Okay.
This is for what? A 6/6 shark? This is a daddy shark, Matt.
7, right?
Do.
6, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's 2 plus the X for your shark size.
We will meet again.
You think it's a problem? I guess not. I was gonna say, you think it's a problem they took like the 1 single point from the they could have blocked with the shark?
No, I think you don't want to you don't want them to have another Teferi.
That's fair.
All right, so
Jeez.
Why aren't we playing our other land and getting our last card? We want to be able to play a tap land. This just feels strange.
It's getting vetoed anyways.
And then you chump block with your 4/5 so you can Teferi bounce the shark here, right?
Yep.
And I feel like it's worth pointing out that, like, Rip and Peace started on 4 cards this game.
Yeah.
Like, and we're, like, playing a very real match of Magic. Like, the London Mulligan just cannot overstate how impactful that was to this game in a positive way.
This is tough. I mean, Rip and Peace is still in some trouble, but definitely playing a real game.
Scryed a blink there to the bottom, basically. Counterspell? All right, Castle Vantress.
Not the worst, I suppose.
And Teferi still notably locking out this neutralize.
Yeah.
So we'll see what this Uro is able to find, but nothing else up really for Big Country at the moment. Feel like Big Country's a little bit ahead, but the game's fairly close. If Rip and Peace is able to find a counterspell to stop this expansion explosion, they're going to be in a good spot.
Yeah, Uro's a tough beat to take.
There's a thought. Do you play the land there, or do you cycle that Triumph?
I think you're supposed to cycle it. You have infinite lands. I mean, not infinite, but you have plenty for what you're up to. I think you're just trying to like dig towards this wilderness reclamation at this point still.
All right, there's another Teferi. I assume we're just gonna Glass Casket this Uro.
Yeah, it makes the most sense.
Ooh, I think we forgot about. Listen, static text, man. Maybe by the time these cards rotate, I'll be able to remember their static text, but just constantly get got by them.
Yep. That's tough.
So probably going to see a Castle Vantress activation here.
Yep. There's a... 25.
I mean, Castle Venturous, unlike Lockwayne, doesn't actually draw cards, but it kind of draws cards. You know, like.
Yeah, it's not the worst. All right, Brazen Bar is not the worst.
I mean, what is it doing, right? Like, I guess you could, like...
It gets Earl. You know,
I mean, it cantrips itself, right? Yeah, like, the Petty Theft cantrips, so, like, that's not all bad. And this is kind of bait. If this resolves, maybe you know you're in the clear for your expansion explosion. You just, like, fire off a big one and kill the Teferi.
Yeah, slam it into Tef. I'm totally into that.
You could even fire this off for a reasonable amount and, like, explosion and hold up neutralize.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that too, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to elect to play... I don't know that I like playing out the Brazen Bar we're here, knowing that we just put Glass Casket back in their hand.
Yeah, that's my biggest concern here. Yeah, that's a big concern for me to...
And now we see them eyeing this explosion like, okay, are we supposed to explosion? But I don't think you can at this point because you played the Borrower.
Yeah, now you don't have... Yeah, well...
I think my line this turn probably would have been do kill the Teferi with the explosion and hold up neutralize.
Yeah, the part that's hard here now too is like now you've let
this veto is huge.
Yeah, you've let Rip and Peace get to this point where they can start using their Vantress and like their Teferi is going to be mostly unassailable.
Yep, yeah. I mean, like, they're going to draw this veto. They're going to get to Glass Casket this Brazen Borrower. And honestly, I feel like the veto puts... what's it called, in the driver's seat. Puts
yeah,
in the driver's seat.
Yeah, I'm with you. You've got to take Teferi off the table. Like, this card is such a beating in this matchup especially. And that's going to be a mega punish. Free 2 points here.
We didn't Glass Casket. Really? That seems super wrong. I mean, you're happy. I mean, these are good cards on Big Countryside. Now, the Reclamation is interesting because the Reclamation might bait this veto.
Yeah.
Which means the explosion is still live then.
It's been a weird game. I mean, yeah, just line up and attack this Tef. This one's about as basic as it gets. It was like Teferi just dies.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know that I would have given up this Teferi. I feel like that's not where I would want to be in life.
Huh.
So now, like, if you're on Big Countryside, you just have like so many decisions now in the way you could sequence this turn.
Yeah, I don't even know what I'm thinking if I'm Big Country. I'm like, wow, they didn't Glass Casket. My God, they just let Tef die. That almost certainly means they have another one, but like, what?
God, just all the gas here. Although, I guess Intervention kind of has diminished returns at this point, right?
Yeah, it's fine, but not great.
It's going to draw cards. It's not going to counterspell things, most likely.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you play the Shark Typhoon in the hidden mode?
I think yes. I mean, like, what's the worst that happens? They play I mean, I guess they can play Teferi bounce.
Teferi bounce is a real downside. Yep.
That's kind of a beating.
I wonder if we'll see the casket happen on the Brazen Bar this turn, or if they'll double down on there.
I'm thinking they're going to bounce the Thasses.
Yeah, I think you bounce the C and you Glass Casket the Borrower if I was on Rip and Pieces side. See these tokens from the White Castle going to town.
Don't worry, I got
the castles are great.
Slide not in there from the White Castle.
The castles are really powerful.
Yep, excellent cards in the format for sure.
There's some serious restraint on this Glass Casket that I would not have.
And they might get paid off for it here, right? Like, the Shark Typhoon token is really, really big.
Yeah.
The pretty punishing, honestly, for not down ticking the Teferi.
These are hammers, though.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
What is this attack? I'm so confused, Matthew.
stop that now.
Um,
I guess they just don't care about the neutralize. So what does this attack say? This attack says we're cycling this neutralize, right? To analyze it. That's what this attack is committing to effectively.
yeah, I'm trying to do some math on like what happens if you attack them for 9 again. How big does your expansion have to be? I guess like leaving Tef on the table means that they have to plus it here, and you get to kill it with Brazen Bar for free next turn. Put them to 11, but you still can't kill them. Like I don't.
It's interesting.
Like Earl's just gonna get chumped for the rest of the game.
Sure, but I mean, like Earl getting chumped is fine because you're like
Yeah.
drawing a card every turn, right? So like you're fine with that. Like if Earl's like draw a card, game 3 life, my opponent taps 5 lands, like that's a good turn for Earl.
If you get Wrathed here, like I don't know.
That's true, but at the same time,
The draw card.
are there shatters post board? I think they boarded the shatters out, and I don't think that that's necessarily wrong. But I think I believe that's what happened.
Could it be right?
We're gonna find out here. We're about to see a big Thassa's intervention. I think here.
I'm gonna say this intervention is gonna be rather large. For 4 cards.
Take a peekaboo here. See what we get. Again, cannot neutralize. There's the Teferi in play. That's a bunch of things that don't play to the board. Teferi kind of plays to the board, but not really.
Yeah, you can take Tef, and I guess you have to take Absorb here. Because like another land doesn't do a lot.
I feel like if Rip in Peace loses this game, it's because they didn't play this last casket soon enough.
Well, this casket...
It's gonna get
This
the
casket
Uro.
on Uro.
So like they are getting a little bit of rewarded for their patience.
And you get to dunk the shark, if you want.
Yeah, so they can play the second Teferi and dunk the shark. Sure.
Yeah, I would almost certainly throw a harpoon at that thing.
But then they're out of Tefris, right?
Yeah, I don't know, man. This has been a weird.
I mean, I agree. They have 12 power. I think you gotta dunk the shark.
Gotta get rid of it. There's no way. But then you're at a Tef. Yep.
Okay, well that was a good one.
Yeah.
Well, they can't double counterspell this turn though, right? They're short of land. They've only got 5 up.
5 total. Yep.
Matthew.
Yep.
It's Godzilla.
It's time.
It's Godzilla. Whoa, we're still cycling it. Oh, this card is a casting cost.
Dude, have you ever played this card?
You can pay 7 mana for it. Godzilla wants to run free, Matthew.
That's just too bad. It's just too bad.
I just want to shout, run, it's Godzilla, Matthew. Why do they deny me this?
Well, Godzilla ran this time, so it's,
he did run away. He did not charge the opponent though.
Man, I am just on the edge of my seat here. I don't know what's gonna happen here. I have no idea anymore. I'm reserved to picking the wrong choice every time on my end.
Yeah,
so.
and the expansion explosion here is interesting to me because like I feel like they waited so long and were so conservative with this card that to now jam it with no protection surprises me.
Yeah. And like they've left up enough to play around Mystic Dispute, but like they're gonna get completely rammed by this Absorb, and it's like,
yeah. Yep. If Rip can find a way to deal with these Brazen Borrowers, they'll be pretty firmly in the driver's seat.
I wonder if you're supposed to. Oh, you can't spiral. Jeez, give me a break. I wonder if you're supposed to spiral for now because you can't play around Dispute that way. It's so rough.
Put another Triome into play. They keep cycling the Godzillas and playing the Triomes.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, if this is a way to deal with the Brazen Borrowers. That's
another Absorb. Okay, I mean, Shark Typhoon is great against double counterspell. The Shark Typhoon could steal the game, right?
Yeah, so
Whew!
Gracious.
Whew!
Goodness freaking gracious.
All right. There's a storm. There's a storm brewing, Matthew.
There is. I hope everybody brought umbrellas to the stream today because this is going to get ugly. What in the world? Play around counter spells by not casting spells. That's a great tip. There's trip counter spell here.
How many lands do we have? We have 4, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So this is a 12/12 shark?
Plenty.
They're
That's
like,
the answer.
this stat says, what is the intervention even able to hit here?
Stone nothing.
I'd be surprised if there's anything.
How do you beat Typhoon?
The Typhoon should likely be lethal here. I like how did you catch on the interface the Teferi lit up when they were dragging out the Shark Typhoon?
Yeah.
They're just like, no, sorry, friend.
Do you make two small sharks here?
Do you make
just like in case they have borrower
sharks here? Yeah, probably.
I don't know if they have borrower on their list. I guess I could do some research and look, but
now, okay, so we're making an so these sharks actually split up really well. So you have an 8/8 shark that's lethal on its own, and then you also have a 2/2 shark that's lethal with the borrowers.
Yep, that's my overall thought was if you split them up, if they have like brazen borrower or something like that, you're still okay.
Looking for 6. God. So Tails End here, Tails End here counters one shark, but because Big Country elected to make 2, they're still going to have lethal.
Yeah, that's good. That was good.
Counter target activated or triggered ability. Did we miss it? There were 4 lands up there, right?
Or what?
Oh, we drew Expansion Explosion. Sure.
Doesn't matter, yeah.
Sure. Right. Never mind. Doesn't matter.
The bailout plan is effective.
Narset says you cannot draw cards. Expansion Explosion says that's fine, you're dead.
That was a game, my friend. That was a game.
Okay, if you're Rip in Peace, do you bring Shatter back in?
I would certainly have Elspeth. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Shatter's so bad, though. Let's take a look what
you can see Rip peeking back at the board, thinking about, like, okay, what do I do? And see, there's 7 sweepers in the sideboard here for Rip in Peace, and you see them mousing over that Shatter. Like, I honestly don't know if you're supposed to have the Shatters or not.
I wonder if Elspeth Conquers Death is worse than, like, another Glass Casket.
Sure.
Like, man, it's so hard, but...
Oh, they had Grafdigger's Cage in their deck. Yeah, I'd get that out of there. I think the things that interact with the board are way better than Grafdigger's Cage.
Yeah?
Cage for just Uro is super loose.
This is fun. This is fun. Cool. It's been a good game good match so far.
Yeah, I agree. On the play for the blue-eye control like here, easy mulligan.
Rip in Peace was on 4 cards.
I was just about to say they were on 4 cards to start that game.
Oh, this one looks nice. It's a 6er for Rip in Peace, but looks pretty solid.
Decent 7 up top. Need some lands for Big Country, but they're going to have some cycles on the Shark Typhoons. They're probably a-okay.
Yeah. Shark Typhoon has been awesome both rounds so far.
Agree.
All right. A good start for both players.
Rip in Peace notably missing their second blue at the moment, though.
Yeah, I can't remember what they bottomed there.
They bottomed an Absorb.
An Absorb, yeah. So that's a. Another Birth.
hitting our land drops.
Yeah, I mean they're getting really close to this Urian already, which is, I mean, it doesn't do anything right now, but being able to get through the deck a little bit is nice.
No Shark Typhoon cycle there. Kind of surprises me.
Yeah.
We see the Stomping Ground Shock in there. Probably going to see the Doom Inevitable cycle out this turn, I imagine.
Yep. Makes total sense. Birth of Meletus doing its thing here, cutting through the deck. Found the second blue source, which is really big for Rip in Peace. We'll turn that Neutralize on. That's a nice one. Yeah, and Big Country's deck has kind of all the tools here. Has Reclamation, has Uro with Dispute backup. A lot of goods going on here.
The neutralize here is an interesting question because like in some ways you just want to use your mana, but like the Uro's not worth a lot either.
Yeah, like if I were to be on Big Countryside, I got neutralized, I'd just let it go. Just like no way I would dispute it. So
kind of regretting bottoming the absorb a little bit here on Big Countryside, right? Like you have a bunch of removal spells and you wish you had more things that played to the. Yeah. That is a rough dispute. And now your shields are down, and they just get to stick. They get to stick the Wilderness Reclamation now.
Stick Reclamation. They have everything. Big Country has lots going on.
I guess Rip in Peace does have the 6 land with the Banishing Light here to take the Wilderness Reclamation off the table.
It's valid.
See a cycle here on the neutralize.
Yeah, I mean you just got to get through your deck a little bit. The neutralize has lost a lot of its weight.
Yep.
Tranquil Cove's going to be so sad.
Easiest dispute of my life.
Yep. It will play full retail for the counter spell there.
Whew! They're tapped out, Matthew.
Almighty.
They're tapped out. This is the punish, right? You tap out, expansion explosion happens.
Yeah.
We even see the debate here. Do they hidden mode the Shark Typhoon and then like just baby expansion explosion for 2 and make a 6/6 shark?
I think that's totally valid.
Yeah, like, I think that could be a very real line here.
Yeah, like who cares? Like if they Teferi and bounce it, like okay.
Wow, this is I don't know what we're waiting for here. I am by no means a Temur Recollection expert. This is probably why I'd be bad at Temur Rec, Matthew. I'm just like heading to the Space Jam. Heading to the Space Jam every turn.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Ready. I just want to just jam. And this is more of a control deck, right? This is why I try to beat people down. I like drawing cards way too much and dealing damage. I'm just like, all right, let's blast them off.
Oh, I mean, you gotta banish it like this, right?
Yeah, and I mean, like, and this is a huge punish because, like, there's nothing that Big Country could do to counterplay this, right? Like, the Reclamation's just gone for now.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? I'd be interested to tap into both players' brains and like think like, okay, they did this. What do I think that their next thing? What do I think that they have in their hand at this point?
Yeah, what's the read, right? And like some of these decisions are easy for us to make because we're looking at heads up information, but you know, players are playing with hidden information and don't have all the pieces that we do here in the booth.
I don't even know what I would be thinking.
And like the 4/4 shark is tough because like you see Urian staring you in the face, which is a 4/5. So like once their companion comes down, this 4/4 shark is kind of just useless, right?
Yeah, if I'm ripping piece, there's no way possible I put my opponent on having an expansion explosion in hand.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Correct. Like I am
0 chance.
Correct. I'm like if I'm streaming, I'm like, oh well, they didn't do it last turn, so they don't have it. And Veto is an incredible draw. Yep. And Urian here going to get to Blink the Birth, get an extra planes for a little bit of value. We get to Stonewall the 4/4 shark.
And that's quite good. Huh. Man. Yeah, this blue-white deck's actually a little bit more powerful than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I mean, the making your deck 80 cards is a lower drawback than I think it feels like on the surface.
Yeah.
I think if you think about how often you play 3-ofs anyways in a lot of these decks, you're like, oh, this just isn't a big deal. Wow, that attack.
You just stare at your opponent.
Just no fear. Just like, all right, ship it. Would you like to block?
I'm glad Chet can see my face, because usually when I do commentary, it's like, all right, well, I'm just like, there's like a match on the screen and my face is like in the booth somewhere, but my face had been stone shocked there.
Yeah, like that was, I wouldn't have had the stones to just like shove in there like that. Like that took some, there is no fear in Big Country's dojo, Matthew. They ain't scared.
And it's, wow. Okay. Well,
I I think Rip in Peace is ahead. I think they're ahead, right? Although I guess there's Uro. This Uro's got to be getting close, right?
Jeez. Boy, the big stupid monster. Yeah, Uro is getting close.
Okay, we see Dream Trawler pop up here on Rip in Peace side of the table. Might start to see them holding some lands here.
I guess this Typhoon. Oh man.
So you're gonna lose your Yorion, but you're gonna get to Glass Casket the Shark post combat. So like I feel like Rip's still like in an okay spot.
7, 8, 9. Yeah, they get to do everything here, right? They get to play. I don't think they've played a land yet, so they get to do everything. They get to Casket the Shark, play Trawler, and leave Veto up.
Well, so then the Trawler's exposed though, right? So like there's a question of do you want to have no good cards left hand discard to Trawler?
Well, is Trawler exposed because you have Veto? Is my question.
That's fair. Okay, yeah, that's fair. And like you know Big Country's deck list heads up, so you know their only way to kill this Trawler is like Expansion Explosion, and you want to veto that anyways.
Yep.
They say he's got to go Godzilla.
How do these things not have reach? Come on.
Roar. He's got stumpy little arms, Matthew. Yeah. He's got stumpy little Godzilla arms.
But he can block with his face.
I look at the walls. The city shall not fall, Matthew.
This is too
Defense.
Wow.
Godzilla is just decimating downtown right now.
Bonk, bonk.
Just punching right through these walls. You love to see it.
Oh yeah, Castle Ardenville. Nice soldiers against my Godzilla.
Yeah, puny humans die.
Man, Narset too now. That's a rough one off the top.
I'm not sure that this Godzilla does not race Stream Trawler, does it?
Not at all. Tails End's a really good pickup too, in case there is another Shark Typhoon. This is pretty solid.
Oh no, we didn't kill the Narset first. We don't get to draw a card with this Uro.
Well, you can't kill it anyways, but...
Okay, we're getting Tails Ended regardless. Whew. Well, no, they could... Oh, they can't kill because of the walls, sure. Right, the city shall not fall, Matthew.
How do you feel about Tails ending this?
I kind of like it. I guess... I don't know. I would need to click into the Exile. I think Big Country's through 2 or 3 Shark Typhoons at this point.
2, yes, 2 I believe is correct, yeah.
If they're through 2 Shark Typhoons, I feel like... I love this no blocks this turn.
Yeah,
you have this Narset now, so like the walls of the city are defending her at this point.
Sure.
And like Dream Trawler is just like giving Rip in Peace tons of life here.
Yeah, it's quite the problem. And like here comes Castle. Gonna attack for at least 5 here. A lot of lands, but I don't think that really matters. What's Rip got here?
That's Banishing Light.
It is quite good again.
One Godzilla or 1 white enchantment. Whew! That's the punish for what we talked about earlier.
And this is the only reason I wouldn't use Tails End on the Uro.
Yep.
Gosh.
The Stream Trawler was in the market to win this game on its own, and Shark Typhoon might have something to say about that.
I suppose you're still in pretty good shape though, because you can make another soldier. So like, they're really on like a 3-turn clock at this point, 4-turn clock.
Okay, there's Teferi.
That's a beating.
So if the Teferi goes up, or the Teferi could go down and eat the Glass Casket, because the Glass Casket doesn't have anything underneath it. Just like a draw 2, basically. You draw your casket plus another spell.
Yeah, it's a good line. I dig it.
And now you get to do this and get rid of Godzilla.
It's so good, man. It's just so good. I don't know if they've played a land for turn yet either. Yeah, they have not. This is very difficult, though.
So Dream Trawler's gonna the Conquer's Death could just be played out naked to get the Dream Trawler back on suspend.
That's true. Yeah, this is quite... Man, there's so many cards. every turn. Yeah, I love just firing in again. I mean, if they have the tornado, they have it. So the typhoon, excuse me.
For 8, this is for 10, up to 10 here.
That's the big one. Problem is, you know they have glass casket, so that stinks, but...
Yeah, 8, 10, 12 mana. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, if you know they have, since you know they have casket, you just like do it for the minimum because you assume the shark's going away. So
and you
probably
can still
accurate.
Vantress.
Nope, we're one short of Vantress.
Okay. Gosh, what if they would hit a cycler there? What if they would hit
right?
Like,
yeah, had a way to cantrip and trade
they're
them.
neutralized, yeah. Or Omen of the Sea. Okay. Well. Yeah, I think Rip and Peace is fine to stay the course and just keep making tokens with the castle. Got several counter spells up now.
Yeah, I think we're solidly into garbage time at this point. The Castle of Antris is going to start making some tokens here, and between Narset and the Teferi, Big Country's just mostly locked out.
Yeah, the Ardenvale is going to go. There's just 4 turns here. 3 turns, I think, actually.
And you get to just like tap out for this Thassa's intervention and not care, just because you have Teferi in play and they can't do anything other than Cyclo Shark Typhoon, which also, they already have done a lot of.
It's also true.
The world is the oyster here for Rip and Peace.
Goodness gracious.
Blue-white just like solidly flexing.
Tail's End is a really sweet card for this kind of matchup.
Yeah, and like Tail's End is one of those cards where like when you're playing a 60 card deck, you probably don't have room for it. But when you're trying to fill out your 80th card, like there's room to fit a couple in, right?
Yep.
Someone in chat pointing out the interesting note that Tail's End counters every companion because they're all legendary.
That's funny. Okay. About a turn away from this one being over, it looks like.
Yeah, Teferi's on 3.
Yeah.
Dream Trawlers attacking for 5 to 6 here.
Yeah, it's gonna attack.
Omen of the Sea means you don't even have to give up your Teferi here.
Yeah.
So Sansa Shark Typhoon, the Stream Trawler's lethal here.
Yeah, and they have Tails End to cover that, so they're in business.
Yeah, this is one of those games where like I feel like if you're on Big Countryside, you're gonna go back and think about this game 3 a lot. I feel like there were a lot of decision points where we could have jammed different things, like when they were tapped out and we could have like this explosion's just sat in our hand, right? Yep. Like there was a turn where we could have fired it off and gained a bunch of cards. There was a turn where we could have deployed a Shark Typhoon and had a bunch of cards. Like there were a lot of micro decisions in this game that could have added up to a different outcome.
Yeah. Comes to Omen, and that's going to be lethal. Yeah. It's a good game though. Good match overall.
Yeah. Interesting. So like we talked about, the Reclamation deck feeling like it's the biggest deck in the format. And I think that third game could have gone a little bit differently if we saw some different lines on Big Country's part. But the blue-white control overall does feel like it has the tools available to it to be competitive in that matchup.
Yes, I certainly agree after watching that one. I mean, we watched Rip and Peace had 4 cards at one point and game number 2 to start and actually almost pulled it out somehow. Dovin's Veto and Narset mixed with Teferi, like those cards are all like pieces of the puzzle to lock out their Reclamation deck, and it went pretty well overall for them. So.
All right, sweet. I think we might have a couple of game 3s we can jump into. I'm going to roll a real quick ad, and we're going to be back with some more Magic in just a second. Thanks for hanging out, folks.
We assure you we are open. CoolStuffInc.com is still open for business, buying your singles and miniatures, and selling TCGs, board games, and more. CoolStuffInc.com, cool stuff in stock.